So when you're ready, come on down to hands and knees. And even this pose, we're going to really sit up. So we're going to bring the palms down underneath the shoulders. We're going to have those knees down underneath the sit bones. And we're going to recognize that space. Yeah, and we're just going to take a little drawing of the arms towards each other and a little drawing of the knees towards each other. Now we're going to take that drawing of the hands and the knees without actually moving the hands and knees closer. So what it is we're toning the inside of our thighs, we're toning our arms, and we're maintaining that strength. Now from here, we're going to create a little bit more strength. We're going to engage our belly buttons or the muscles of our belly, and we're going to draw that belly button a little closer to the spine. So taking that and feeling the strength here within the body, we're going to take a few movements through cat and cow and make our way down into child's pose to really ground into our practice. Now, if child's pose is an uncomfortable pose for you, because we're using child's pose as a time to really get settled in and become present, then come into seated, a seated cross-legged pose rather than child's pose. I'll talk you through that in a minute. So for now, though, we're going to inhale and we're going to lift up into our cow pose. We're lifting our tail, we're lifting our gaze. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to coil back into cat. Now, if you want to take a little wiggle of the hips as you do that in cow, then you can. Let's inhale and come back into cow pose, pressing down into the hands, lifting that tail, lifting the cat. Exhale, coiling back into cat. So we're going to take that one more time, just limbering up the spine. Inhale, coming into cow pose. Yeah, that's it. And then exhale, press all the way back into child's pose. So this is the pose, but if it's not comfortable for you, then come into a seated cross-legged pose. We're going to rest our foreheads down on the ground. Now, if your forehead doesn't come down to the ground, rest it on 2 fists and start to notice your breath. So we've taken a few movements now that we're connected with the breath. And now we're noticing that breath a little bit more here. So inhaling, noticing the way that that moves through your body, and then exhaling, noticing the impact that that exhale has on your body. Inhaling, noticing the effect that that inhale has on your body, and exhaling, noticing the effect of that exhale on your body. Continue to move that breath moving your body, and noticing your energy. How are you feeling? Are you feeling a little Sunday afternoon sleepy? Are you feeling quite energized? Are you feeling a little rattled? Whatever it is, recognize it. It's fine. Whatever it is, you don't need to change it. You're just acknowledging that that is how you're feeling right now. How are your thoughts? Are your thoughts busy? Are you feeling frustrated? Are your thoughts quite quiet? Again, there is no need for you to change that at the moment, just recognizing what it is, how they are, acknowledging them, and then moving on, noticing your breath. Is your breath long and smooth? Is it full, or is it a little short and ragged? Just noticing. Just noticing. No need to change it in any way just now. Just accepting what it is, acknowledging it. Now, how are you feeling emotionally, spiritually? How is your connection to the earth? Take a couple of breaths here without my voice and notice. Rising up now on your next inhale to hands and knees. That's it. And from hands and knees, pressing back into downward facing dog. Take a little walk out of those heels in your down dog, just stretching down the back of your legs. Now, the position of your head, the back of your skull is a curve of your spine. And so the position of your head in this downward facing dog is to have it extending out long along the spine, acknowledging the length of your spine, the curves of your spine. It doesn't need to be tucked between your arms. We're staying here for a couple more breaths, just exploring this pose, exploring the pressure rocking from one hand to the other as we pump the heels. And then we're going to find ourselves, or I want you to find yourself in a position that is quite aligned. And to find that alignment, press down into your hands evenly. Press down into the feet. Yeah, maybe your heels are down on the ground, maybe they're not. And then to find even weight between your hands and your feet, bend your knees as much as you need to. Yeah, so where is it that you find that even pressure between the hands and the feet? Just noticing, breathing. From here now, we're going to add this downward facing dog to some of the movements we took before. So inhale, come to hands and knees. Exhale, press back to child's pose. On this inhale, we're going to inhale all the way to cow pose. And then we're going to exhale, find ourselves in hands and knees. Let's stay here for a breath. And on our next exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, press back to child's pose. We're going to keep moving. Inhale to hands and knees, all the way through to cow pose. Exhale back into hands and knees. So we're lengthening that spine. Stay here for a breath so that on the exhale, you can press back to downward facing dog. So we're taking that little pause so that we can align our breath with our movement. Inhale back to hands and knees. We're coming through that one more time. Exhale, pressing back into child's pose. Inhale, coming all the way forwards into your cow pose. Yeah. Exhale, come into your hands and knees. Staying here for the inhale so that on the exhale you can press back to downward facing dog. Right, let's walk those hands back to our feet so that we're in forward fold at the back of our mat. Bend the knees as much as you need to get here. And then from here, bend your knees a little more. Rest your belly on your thighs. Let your upper body waterfall down over your legs. Just like you did in your down dog, just notice the weight of your body down into your feet. So find the weight of your body in the balls of your feet. Find the weight of your body at the heels, the outer edges, maybe the inner edges. And then find it evenly weighted. And allow your upper body to really waterfall down. So in that waterfalling down, if you imagine that you're quite fluid, liquid, you're waterfalling down and you're allowing the back of your neck to release. Allowing some softness through the upper body. That's it. And then we're going to inhale. Come inhale all the way up to halfway lift. Yeah, and in your halfway lift, we're going to pause here for a moment, pressing your hands maybe into your thighs, maybe into your shins. Maybe they stay connected down towards the floor, but we're lengthening out long from the tail, out through the crown of the head. If you imagine that I've just got hold of a little top knot on top of your hair or a little silver thread, yeah, and I'm giving it a little pull, and it's creating some space along the back. At the same time, just glide those shoulders down a little. Strong through your belly. Can you feel that lift through your belly? On your next exhale, come back down into forward fold. Follow the path of your breath. On your inhale, rise up to upward chair. And on your exhale, rise up to stand. Let's take a few breaths here in our mountain. So in your mountain again, finding that even weight down into the feet, pressing down into the left foot, pressing down into the right foot, the fronts of the feet, the backs of the feet, and then evenly weighted. Yeah, that's going to support us in some balances later. Let's shrug those shoulders up and let them soften down the back. And acknowledge where your head is on top of this structure. Acknowledge the tip of your pelvis. Is it tipping forwards? Is it tipping back? We're finding it even, strong through the body. We're going to stay here for just a couple of breaths. And then with your next inhale, sweep your hands towards the sky, lift your gaze, and exhale, swan dive forwards into forward fold. From this forward fold, we're going to creep those hands forwards all the way to downward facing dog. And from downward facing dog, walk your feet forwards to your hands so that now you're in forward fold at the front of your mat, traveling around our mats. Inhale, come to halfway lift. Exhale, back down into forward fold, floating all the way through now. Inhale to upward chair. Exhale, rise to stand. We're going to keep lifting this energy. We're going to inhale, sweep our hands towards the sky, lift our gaze. Now exhale, hands down into prayer in front of your heart space. Rock your weight over into your left foot. Step your right foot back. Let's start in lunge. So stepping that right foot back, but your heel is lifted. We're going to press the left foot forwards, the right foot back, as though we're trying to spread our mat a little longer. And then if it feels okay, you can sweep your hands towards the sky. Now, if you need to modify this pose, just lower that right knee down to the floor. That improves it. My right heel is still off the ground. Yeah, it's close, but it's off the ground. Maybe weave your fingers together, point those pointed fingers, draw those arms a little further back, and enjoy a little back bend here. Now, in this back bend, lengthening the front of the right leg. Yeah, and with the heel drawing down, we're lengthening the back of the right leg. Can you feel that? Engaging down through the right glute. Let's turn this into a warrior pose, grounding down through the outer edge of the right foot, sweeping those hands out wide. Now, remember, if I've got that little line on my t-shirt or my singlet, then it's rising straight up. It's not leaning forwards or out to the side. It's rising straight up, as though, again, there's that silver thread at the crown of your head that I'm lifting. Reach your hands out wide. Press that left knee over the left ankle. Find your alignment here. Do those hips feel okay? If they don't, adjust it. Roll your hands towards the back of your body. Fire up the space between the shoulders. Elbows to palms back down. We're taking our little triple spiral. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Powerful in this pose. Grounding down into those feet. You are strong. Yeah, you're strong. Adjust as you need to. Adjust as you need to. Let's take that right hand forward. So now we're squaring our sternum towards the front. Again, we're going to lift those arms. See how much space we have through the shoulders. Yeah, maybe you're a little limited in that movement like I am. Maybe you've got a little bit more space. Still pressing that left knee down over that left ankle. Still grounding down through the outer edge of your right foot. So nice strong engagement now, really quite powerful through the back of the right leg, but also down into that left hip. We're going to bring that left elbow down now. We're going to bring it down onto the left thigh, and we're going to sweep that right arm up and over, finding that length along the right side of the body. Yeah, that's it. Now, if you want to, you can lift that left elbow off the thigh and start to float that hand, still floating it off the floor. I'm not connecting it just yet, but reaching through that right side, finding that space. And then rocking back into our warrior two. And from here, cartwheeling your hands down beside your left foot. From here, can you float that right leg up behind you towards standing split? Yeah, what does that pose look like for you? Is it a little more coiled up? Yeah, or is it starting to extend out long? Either is fine. To bring that right foot back down, we're going to bring it back down behind us so that we're in a little lunge, turning those left toes around now and facing sideways on your mat. Grounding down through the outer edge of your feet. Now toes pointing in, pigeon-toed through the toes, yeah? And taking a little fold forwards over the legs. Again, noticing the pressure of your feet down onto the floor. Is it mostly grounding down back into the heels? Can you bring it forwards a little? Can you find that even weight down into the feet? Now we're making our way to stand again. If you want, depending on where you are and how the shape of the layout of your room is, you can come back down to the front of your mat. For me, I'm going to turn to face the back of my mat now, and then I'm going to step my left foot to my right so that I'm in forward fold at the back of my mat. Now this is the front. Yeah? So you can go how you want. If you need to be at the front of your mat, be there in forward fold. If you can move the way that I did, now you're at another space on your mat in forward fold. Just releasing, allowing that spine to lengthen. Again, that head releases and lets go. We've got that waterfalling sensation down over the legs, but maybe here you can start to extend the back of the legs a little. Maybe you've got a little more space to extend. Maintaining that connection of belly to thighs. Inhale, rise up to halfway lift. Exhale, back down into forward fold, evenly grounding down into the soles of the feet. Inhale, rise up to awkward chair. Exhale, rise up to stand, hands draw down. That's it. Inhale, hands sweep towards the sky. Exhale, hands down into prayer in front of your heart space. Rock that weight into your right foot and then step that left foot back into lunge. So we're starting here in this lunge, pressing the feet in either direction as though we're trying to spread our mat a little longer. Now it might be natural to kind of lean forwards a little. We're going to see if we can lift up through the body. We're going to keep pressing down into the feet, and then maybe we can lift the arms. Maybe you can bring those hands together, pointing those pointer fingers, and start to draw back into a little back bend. Now lifting through the front of the body, drawing back through the upper body, finding that space, that lovely space along through that the left front of the leg, right? And at the same time, we're finding that space down through the back of the left leg. Can you feel that? Are you aware of that? Keep pressing that right knee over the right ankle. And then grounding down through the outer edge of the left foot, we're going to open out into our warrior. Again, opening out into our warrior two, pressing that right knee forwards over the right ankle. Adjust your pose as you need to. This pose might be a little bit different. It might not be able to kind of come straight from lunge. You might need to change the position of your feet. Roll those hands towards the back. Fire up the space between the shoulders. Elbows to palms back down. We're in that little triple spiral. Yeah, again, if you could imagine what that line of my singlet is, and it's rising straight up, little silver thread through the crown of the head, lifting up long and strong. From here, we're keeping that pressing of the right knee down over the right ankle. See if you can tip forwards. We're going to rest that right elbow on top of the right thigh. We're going to sweep that left arm down towards the right hand first, and then up and over so that we find that space, that length along the left hand side of the body, finding that alignment. Yeah, again, so that we're not folding forwards. Yeah, we're not kind of contracting at the waist, lengthening through the left side. Now, it might be that you can float those right fingers down, but not if it causes you to buckle and bend. Honor your body. Your body is wonderful. You don't need to modify your body for your practice, right? You modify your practice for your body. Your body is just as it needs to be. One more breath here. And then we're coming up again into our warrior two briefly before we sweep that left hand forwards, coming into our warrior. Yeah, so in that warrior one, grounding down through the left foot again, we're finding a little length through the body. Keep that right knee pressing over the right ankle. Sternum is starting to square towards the front of your mat. And then we're taking that standing split, yeah? So we're going to swivel forwards. We're going to bring those hands down towards the floor, and maybe we can float that left leg up behind us into standing split. You know, your standing split might be quite kind of curled up, right? Your knees might be quite bent, or you might be really starting to lengthen through the body. Let's lower that left foot back down to the floor, softening forwards into your forward fold, just releasing down over the legs again in that waterfalling motion. Let's inhale now and come all the way to standing, swan diving up to stand, hands reaching towards the ceiling, and then bringing those hands down into prayer in front of your heart space. Finding those feet down on the floor again. We're going to inhale again the hands. We're going to bring that left arm up. We're going to take hold of the left wrist and the right hand. Yeah, and then from here, we're going to take a little stretch to the side. So reaching across towards the right-hand side, but maintaining that squaring of the hip. So we're not popping the hip out to the side here. We're maintaining that squaring. We're taking a stretch across the rib cage, across the shoulder. How is that breath? We're going to put a little more focus on that zone. Coming back to center, taking hold of the right wrist and the left hand, and again, taking a lean over to the side. How's that breath? Noticing that as you inhale, you extend and stretch down your right rib cage. that sometimes there's that temptation to float those hips out to the side. Keep them even. Keep them even for you. And then coming back, hands back down beside beside your body. From here, let's really connect deeply with the breath. And for that, there's a couple of options for you. One is bigger than the other, and meaning that the movement is bigger. But we're going to deeply, deeply connect with our breath now before we come into more of a mindfulness practice. I mean, this is a moving mindfulness, and for our seated mindfulness, we really need to have connected to the breath. So if you bring the two fingers of your left hand and just rest them in the hollow of your throat, as you inhale through your nose, see if you can feel a little vibration there, creating a little restriction. It's going to cause a sound like the ocean. And as you exhale through the nose, that sound happens again. It's created here at the base. As you inhale through the nose, that oceanic sound. And as you exhale through the nose, again, that oceanic sound. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Now, even though my breath instruction has stopped, I want you to continue with that smooth, even breath, the ujjayi breath, the little restriction at the base of your throat. We're going to move through some flowing practices, and within that, because you can control your breath, you can breathe at the same time as my instruction, mostly. If you can't, then the breath is more important. The breath is really important, long and smooth. We're going to move through some of those movements we just took, but we're going to turn them into some pulses of 3 and different actions like that. But they're going to be a little familiar because we have come through them. So inhale, glide those hands towards the ceiling, lift your gaze. Exhale, hands down into prayer in front of your heart space, rock your weight into your right foot. Inhale, left foot, right foot steps back. Yeah, so let me pause there. Our left foot is forward, our right foot is back. We're going to have to reconnect with the breath again. So my jumble between left and right. So grounding down into the soles of the feet. Inhale, sweep your hands out into warrior 2, sternum squeeze towards the side. Exhale, tip forwards, left arm to the inside of left thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale, sweep back, left leg straightens, we tip back, right palm touches down. Exhale, pressing forwards again, bending that left knee, left arm towards the inside of the thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale, sweep back, straightening that left leg, left palm touches, reaches back, right palm touches down. One more time, exhale, pressing forwards, left arm towards the inside of the thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale, rock back, straightening that left leg, left palm reaches, turning this into standing split, gliding those hands down towards your left foot, sweeping that right leg up behind you into standing split for 1 breath. Just a little pause here, yeah? And then exhale, place that right foot back behind you into lunge, and inhale, glide those hands towards the sky, lift your gaze into a little back bend. Stay here for a breath. Open out to the side, hands draw out wide, toes turn in, little bit pigeon toes, hands to the hips, take a little fold forward, still breathing, maintaining that long, smooth, flowing breath, staying here for 1 breath. Bend those knees, turn those heels in, coil up to standing, hands draw down. Let's sweep those hands up towards the sky, making little sunshine hands, hands down into prayer in front of your heart space, turning towards the back of your mat, right toes turn forwards, and then lifting that left heel so that here we are in lunge. Now let's glide those hands up in our lunge, taking a little stretch through the left-hand side, and then opening out now to our warrior 2. That's it, pressing that right knee over that right ankle, finding that space here. We're going to stay here for a breath, yeah, grounding down into the soles of the feet, pressing as though you're making the mat a little longer. You ready? Now we're going to take our pulsing movement of 3. Exhale, press forwards, left arm against left inner thigh, right arm reaches. Inhale, rock back, right leg straightens, left palm touches down lightly, right palm towards the back of your mat. Exhale, back down, right knee bends, right arm towards inner thigh, left arm reaches, and again, rock back, straightening that right leg, pressing that palm towards the back of your mat. One more time. We're pressing down, right knee bends, right arm towards your inner thigh, left arm reaches, rock back again, straightening that leg. That's it. And from here, we're spiraling down into our standing split, seeing if we can float that left leg up behind us. Maybe you can start to straighten it. Just maybe. Yeah, and then again, we're touching that left foot back behind us. We're turning sideways on our mat. Our toes turn in again. We're folding forwards now over the legs. And this time, we're staying here for a couple of breaths. Notice that breath. It's that Ujjayi breath. You have maintained that breath. If you haven't, do it now. The breath with a little bit of sound like the ocean. Turn those heels in. Turn those toes in. Heels in one more time. We're going to rest our elbows on top of our thighs and bring the palms together in prayer. Now notice I'm not sinking all the way down, right? I'm up a little higher than that. My thighs are just parallel to the floor. I'm going to take a movement of 3 here. We're going to inhale, rise up, straighten those legs, hands reach out into cactus arms. We're going to exhale, press back down, elbows to elbows, palms to palms, bending those knees. Inhale, rise up. That's it. Exhale, press down. Really moving that breath through your body moving your breath. One more time. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, press down. Again, we're going to rest those elbows on top of the thighs. Don't worry, we're not here for too long today. We're going to toe our toes in. We're going to heel our heels in. And then maybe you can sink a little deeper into a lower squat. Just draw those shoulders back a little. Find that ground underneath your feet. Adjust your feet as you need to. They can be a little wider. But we're going to avoid any rolling in of the knees that causes pressure on the inside of the ankles. Right? So our knees are pressing out over our big toes. Now we're going to come down to the floor from here. So we're going to come on down to seated. We're going to extend our legs out long. Yeah, from here, we're going to draw toes back towards us. And we're going to fold forwards over our legs here. We're quietening down a little now. So bear with me. We're quietening down a little now. We're going to inhale and float away from the legs. And then we're going to exhale and soften and release back down over the legs. We inhale and float up away from the legs. And exhale, float back down again. There's something tidal in this movement, something oceanic as you rise up on the inhale, rising away from the shore of your legs, and then as you exhale, softening back down over the shore of the legs. Now, like the ocean, inhale, rising. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rising. This time we're going to stay in this lifted position. We're going to bring the soles of our feet down to the floor. And reach your hands out wide and long. Right here might be quite enough for you in this position. Yeah, or you're going to move with me and we're going to play as we bring the legs and lift them. You're just playing. I don't want you to hurt yourself in any way. I want you to remember that your body doesn't need modifying for your practice. Your practice needs to be modified for your body. Your body is good. Yeah, it's wonderful. Spend some time to appreciate and love it. If you want to move with me through this, we're going to lift our left foot up off the ground. And then we're going to lift our right foot. We're going to lower that left foot back down. And then we're going to lower that right foot. A little less movement this time maybe. We're going to lift our right foot, a little more centered. We're going to lift our left. We're going to lower our right foot. We're going to lower our left. Take hold of your knees and notice. Did you hold? Now we are grounded in this breath right now, and this breath is strong and powerful. It is the Ujjayi breath with that restriction at the base of the throat, has a sound. So in this breath, you have the oceanic sound. You are conscious and aware. And every time you come back to the breath that you are in, away from your ideas about what is being and what is to come, but every time you come back to this breath, it is that powerful breath. Notice it and create it. Hands out wide again. Starting with the other side first if you want. Lifting that right foot, lifting that left foot. Lowering that right foot, lowering that left foot. Still breathing. Lifting that left foot, lifting that right foot. Lowering that left foot, lowering that right foot. Cross-legged now, folding forwards over those cross legs. Yeah, if you want to, take a little wiggle from side to side, drawing one shoulder down, other, just massaging down towards the floor, maybe deepening with each little wriggle down towards the ground. Finding again that deep connection with the breath. Now you may be a little bit higher, right? Or you may be quite low. But on your inhale, pressing your fingers and thumbs tips to the ground as though you've got an orange underneath your palms. And lifting up, softening your sternum forwards. As you exhale, softening that sternum back, pressing those palms down towards the floor. That's it. And as you inhale up onto the fingertips, the thumb tips, lifting. As you exhale, soften, still that pulsing rhythm of your breath. As you inhale, rise. As you exhale, soften. As you inhale, rise. As you exhale, soften. As you inhale, rise all the way up this time. Change the cross of your legs. Finding your sit bones down onto the ground, those little bony points that connect to the earth. Rising up from that space. And just noticing your breath, noticing the rhythm of your breath. And again, with that controlled breath, uniting it with mine. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forwards. Maybe those hands creep down on the floor, pressing your palms down to the ground. Maybe, right? Inhale, rise up. Fingertips and thumb tips. Exhale, press down. Palms resting down on the floor, softening down a little further. Inhale, rise up. Fingertips and thumb tips. Exhale, release back down. Palms resting down on the floor. One more time through this. We inhale, fingertips and thumb tips. Now this time as we exhale, palms down onto the floor, we're softening forwards and staying here for a few breaths. We did this at the start on the last side, okay? So trust in that release down towards the earth. Notice your breath. And where is that breath moving? Is it a little restricted here? Can we feel it through the back ribs? Can you feel it through your back ribs? Can you feel that maybe your belly is a little restricted in your forward fold if you're a little higher? That may not be your truth. That's all good. Whatever your experience is. Because we are all having different experiences in our bodies. Back up now into your seated cross-legged position. We're going to make our way over onto hands and knees. From hands and knees, grounding down, just like we did at the beginning, right? Hands down underneath the shoulders, knees down underneath the sit bones, just noticing. Maybe your shoulders are a little broader than your sit bones. And the opposite is true. It's all good, right? We're just exploring what is our experience, what is happening within your body. Reaching your left arm now and your right leg, taking a stretch. Can you lift the arm and the leg a little higher? without collapsing through your low back. Can you press your left fingers down to the floor and then press your right toes down to the floor? Can you creep that hand and that leg a little further away? What happens there through your body? Does your belly turn on a little more? Now from here, lift that arm and that leg. We're staying here for a couple of breaths. And then from there, you either touch those fingers and toes back down to the ground, or you reach around and see if you can take hold of your foot in your hand, taking this bind. Now this bind is a back bend, it has a lift. Yeah, lift of the knee and of the upper body. And then hand and knee back down to the floor. Feel that fire. We can lift that fire in our body, lift that energetic quality of our body just through a pose. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Let's roll our hips around in circles. Just feeling maybe that fire start to soften a little. And then rolling those hips around in circles. Again, just checking your hands and your feet where they are on the mat. And then reaching the left leg and the right hand. So we're reaching away. We're seeing if we can find that length. Again, there's a lifting of the belly towards the spine that minimizes any collapse through your low back. And then we're touching those right fingers down and those left toes down. We're going to see if we can creep that hand and that foot a little further away, finding that length. What happens through your belly as you do that? And then with this length, with these long, strong limbs, we're going to see if again we can lift. And maybe this is where you want to stay, or maybe you want to bring your fingers and your toes back down to the floor after the next breath. Or maybe you can take hold of the foot in the hand and come into this back bend, right? And in this back bend, we're lifting through the upper body and we're lifting that left knee a little higher as well, maybe. And then bringing the hand and knee back down to the floor. From here, we're just going to find our pelvis. We're going to find that the movement of the hips. Yeah, and then we're going to do a headstand preparation. Now, it is a headstand preparation. I'm not there with you. I can't support you in your headstand there. If you have a regular headstand practice and you want to take headstand, there's a couple of things to remember, right? So in headstand, if I'm headstanding, I want my feet to be able to float up off the floor. I don't want to kick them up off the ground. They will move slowly with control up into headstand. As well as that, the weight of my body is pressing quite firmly onto my forearms, not so much onto the top of my head. My neck isn't bearing the brunt of the weight of my body. Yeah, my shoulders are. Okay, so those couple of things to remember. But we are just doing headstand preparation. Where you take that is up to you. But you're not going to press into pain. You're only going to move into a pose if you think that you're ready for it. Otherwise, wait till we're together again. We're going to bring those forearms down to the ground and we're going to clasp our hands together. Now I like to stack my little fingers both down on the floor. Yeah, and press down into the forearms from here, just tucking your toes under and seeing if you can lift your hips away from the ground, long down the back of your legs. Maybe you can walk your feet a little closer to your elbows. Right, and then maybe you can lower the crown of your head back down onto the floor, but remember we're still pressing mostly down into our forearms. Now this is a headstand preparation, just staying here for a couple of breaths. Now noticing that pressing down into your forearms, that there isn't the weight on top of your head, that our arms are strong. Another breath. And then lower those knees down to the floor. And press back into child's pose, reaching your hands out long. Headstand preparation, right? Not headstand. Headstand preparation. Bringing those hands back behind you now. We're just going to rest the back of our hands on our sacrum. And we're going to draw our shoulder blades back towards each other, stretching through the front of the body. Then bringing those hands back down to the floor beside the face and rising up to kneel. From our kneeling position, we're going to take a little back bend down on the floor. So the back bend that we're going to take cobra, and then we're going to move lightly through a little sphinx. And as you move through those poses, again, just really aware of any back pain, not pushing into pain, coming out of poses if they don't serve you. So coming now into hands and knees, and from hands and knees, let's step those feet back into a little plank pose just for a moment. Then bending your elbows lower all the way down to the ground. So probably your palms are resting beside your rib cage. Untuck those toes, top of your feet resting on the floor. Inhale, lift to cobra. And the pose as you exhale, really press down into the low belly, the top of the pubic bone, and inhale and lengthen away from that. Let's turn this into a little mini sphinx pose. We're going to bring our forearms down to the ground, elbows underneath the shoulders. Yeah, again, find that connection down into the floor through the top of the pubic bone. And as you inhale, lengthen and stretch away. Just one more breath here. Tuck your toes. Lower back down to the floor first. Now, once you're down on the ground, can you engage your belly, really zippering nice and strong through the front of the belly. Press down into your palms. Rise up through hands and knees and all the way back into your child's pose. I quite like in my child's pose here to just rock slightly from side to side, just compressing and releasing through my hips. But if you prefer to be a little stiller in this pose, then do. Notice your breath. Because in this breath, there is that sound of the ocean. It is long and smooth. You are deeply aware of it. Deeply aware of your breath, the way that it moves your body, the way that your body moves your breath. With your next inhale, come back up to hands and knees. Come down to seated, seated cross-legged. And from seated cross-legged, reach those legs out wide. If you have a blanket or a cushion that you want to sit on, then you can sit on that. Drawing your toes back towards you. Strong through your belly. We're going to see if we have space to fold forwards over our legs. Inhale deeply through your nose. And then exhale deeply through your nose, maybe fold a little more deeply. Inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, deepen that fold. As you inhale, you lift a little. And as you exhale, you soften back down. As you inhale, you lift a little. As you exhale, soften back down. Inhale, float. Exhale, deepen. And this time, stay here. And just notice the way your breath moves your body. Floating your way back up to seated. Knees coming back in, soles of your feet down on the floor, hug your body down over your knees. Notice any sensations that are arising for you. Is that compression through your hip feeling okay? Do you need to have your knees a little wider to make space for your body? How are your shoulders? How is your physical body feeling? Check in and see if you're cold. If you're cold, get warm. Pop something warm on. Maybe your socks, maybe a warm top. Get comfortable. So a comfortable seated cross-legged pose is to have your sit bones a little higher than your hips. And to achieve that, you may have a cushion that you're happy to sit on. You may want to sit up on a blanket. Now, once you're here in your seated cross-legged position, or whatever seated position down on the floor serves you best, rest your hands down on your knees and close your eyes. Notice your breath. And notice the way that your body moves and expands to accommodate your inhale. And the way that it releases, it draws back in again to fill up the spaces as you exhale. With your eyes closed, soften the muscles of your face, soften the muscles of your shoulders. Notice the connection of your sit bones down towards the floor or on whatever you're sitting on. And notice the lifting, the rising up and away of the body as you lengthen it out towards the crown of your head. Notice your breath. And here with your eyes closed, again, remembering that your body is fine, your body is good. Spend some time now appreciating it. Exploring that idea of self-love. That you are just the way that you should be. That you are life, you are the essence of life, and your experiences within this body. What is your experience? This is your human experience. The essence of you is beautiful, miraculous and wonderful. The energy of you is life. Just as the rest of life around you is nature, so are you. You were created just as you were meant to be. So release and let go and soften. Slowly, when you're ready from here, open your eyes softly and make your way down to the floor lying on your back. And support yourself all the way down there. And so when you come down onto your back, have a little space between your legs and have a little space between your arms and your body. And if right now, if you just check in with how you are feeling, knowing that your body is fine and that you modify your practice according to your body, rather than the other way around, then just check in and notice if there's a little pulling through your low back. If maybe it feels like your belly is lifting and there's a strong curve of your low back, and take that cushion or that blanket and pop it under the back of your knees. And if you don't have one now, it's okay. Yeah, but maybe bring one along to our next practice. And then check in again with something under the back of your knees. Does that feel more supportive? Right, chances are it does. Because this is a good restorative practice to have something under the back of your knees. So adjust your position so that you are supported. Notice your breath. And then close your eyes. Close your eyes and feel that connection of your body down towards the earth. And notice the way that the rhythm of your breath is moving. And allow it to just be as it is. No need to change it or modify it in any way. And as you inhale, notice that the temperature of the air touches your face. You inhale through your nose, it touches the end of your nose, and you can feel a little chill of the air. And as you exhale, that breath is warm to the temperature of your body. So as you inhale, there's that awareness that you're drawing in from nature, nurturing each of your cells. And as you exhale, you're releasing anything out that doesn't serve you anymore. As you inhale, you're drawing in nurture from nature, and it's nourishing all of your cells. And as you exhale, at a physical level, you release anything that doesn't serve. Greater than that, even. We inhale, we draw in that energy from the earth, we find that connection. And as we exhale, we release anything that doesn't serve us at a spiritual level, at an emotional level. As you inhale, drawing in from the earth, finding that deep connection to nature. And as you exhale, releasing back out to nature, again, aware of that connection. With each breath, softening a little further towards the earth. Aware of the sounds around you. And then bringing that soft awareness inwards so that you become less aware of the sounds around you and more aware of the sound of your breath. The movement of your breath. And with your breath, becoming aware of your connection to the earth. Feeling the points of your body that are connected to the ground. And releasing and softening down into these points. Really allowing a wonderful softness to flow across your body. As you relax and release the muscles of your scalp and your face. As you soften and relax your jaw. As you release and relax the muscles of your throat and your neck. Releasing across your shoulders and now all the way down to your fingers, your thumbs. Feeling the movement of the energy as it moves across your palms. And softening and releasing at your wrists and up your arms to your elbows. And up further towards your armpits. And then softening and releasing down the rib cage. Relaxing at your waist. Softening at your hips, down your legs to your toes. And then feeling that softness at the soles of your feet, really letting go. Releasing at your ankles, your lower legs, your knees, your upper legs, your pelvis. Feeling it softening, roll up the muscles of your back, along your spine, between your shoulders. And that feeling that as it wraps across your shoulders and around to your chest as you soften there. And with your breath, softening the muscles of your belly, releasing the muscles of your waist. Let go. Let go down towards the earth, surrender. Allowing your connection to the earth to create even more softness through your body. Letting go completely. Relaxing. Releasing. Surrendering to Shavasana. Noticing that there are little specks of light or color that you can see even though your eyes are closed. Noticing again the sounds around you. Noticing the feeling of your body resting down on the earth. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your side. And if you're staying in Shavasana a little longer, just let the rest of my instruction just float over you. But if you're moving out of Shavasana, then slowly pressing yourself up to a seated position. And when you find yourself in this seated position, take one deep sigh with me. And then inhale through the nose and then exhale through the mouth and sigh. Wonderful to practice with you. Namaste.